Okay, we're going to learn about rotations today. Rotation, rotation, rotation. Okay, so in a rotation, the figure is turned about a fixed point. So that's going to be our first two fill-ins. It's turned about a fixed point. It rotates. It's either going to turn clockwise or counterclockwise. So this will be a little bit mathematical. We're going to look at these rules here. And today we're going to focus on a clockwise or counterclockwise turn, but we're just going to focus on the 90 degrees and the 180 degrees turns. Okay, so look at the ordered pairs. The original ordered pairs, x, y, when we do a 90 clockwise rotation, we flip-flop the x and y and make the x become negative. So this might make more sense when we see it on a graph. And then if it's a counterclockwise turn, so here's the original, we still flip-flop the x and y and make it y and x. But for counterclockwise, the y becomes negative. And if we're doing a complete 180, you're just going to make the x and y values the opposites. Make them into, if they're positive, you make them into negative. So let's practice this. So our first example is a clockwise turn 90 degrees. So we're going to invert, we're going to change the x and y and make the x negative. Okay, so clockwise 90 degrees means this triangle is going to turn and come down into the next quadrant here. This is quadrant 4. So following our rule for A prime, we're going to reverse the ordered pairs. So it's going to be 3, then 2, and then the x value is going to be negative. Okay, so let's see where that puts us on the graph. So we're going to go forward 3 and down 2 and plot that point right there. And that'll be A prime. Okay, so let's do B prime. So again, we reverse the ordered pairs on a rotation and we make the y value negative. Okay, so we're going to go forward 1 and down 3, and that's going to be right here for B prime. Okay, moving on to C prime, same pattern. We're going to reverse the ordered pairs and make the x, or make the, what was the former x value, make that negative. Okay, so now we're going to go 2, -1. So 2, -1 puts us right there. So there's our C prime. Now we're going to connect all of those. And you can see that the figure did in fact rotate 90 degrees. So that is our rotation. Let's try the next one, counterclockwise. So in a counterclockwise rotation, we're going to focus right here. We're going to flip-flop the ordered pairs, and the y value then becomes negative. Okay, so let's look at our first ordered pair, let's look at our M prime. Okay, so let's flip-flop, like reverse these, and then this value becomes negative, or the opposite. So like a negative and a negative, this now becomes positive. Okay, let's plot that. So forward 3 and down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to put us right there. And that is going to be M prime. Okay, let's keep going. So let's do A prime. So we reversed these, and then our x value here, this becomes the opposite. Okay, so this is going to be positive 3, negative 2. So it's going to be right there, and that's our A prime. Okay, let's keep going. T prime. Reverse. And the opposite. So we're going to go forward 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And down 2 to there. Okay, and that's T prime. And then moving on to H prime. We're going to reverse these. And then that front term becomes the opposite. So let's plot that. It's going to be 5, negative 5, so that goes right there. And then mark that H prime. So now we're going to connect all of that. And you can see that this went 90 degrees counterclockwise. So it went back here and it turned. And that does look correct. So this little rule here does work for our counterclockwise rotation. Okay, let's do the 180. Now the 180, you just keep the X, Y where they are and just do the opposite. Okay, so we're going to do the opposite here. Okay, so A prime. So we keep our 2, 3, and then we just make them the opposite. So they're both positive, so we make them both negative. Okay, so B prime, keep these in the same order, but then make them the opposite. And C prime, keep these in the same order and make them opposite. So let's go ahead and plot these. So A prime is negative 2. That's back 2, down 3. And then mark that A prime. And then B prime is back 3, down 1. And we'll mark that B prime. And C prime is back 1, down 2. Okay, let's connect them. And okay, we did a 180. So this went 90, 180. Went 2 to 2 quadrants and turned around. So it's just turning around. It looks like if it kept going, it would come back into its original position. Okay, and then let's just do a little reminder of our congruency statement. So figure ABC is still congruent to A prime, B prime, and C prime. So that's our congruent statement. Okay, let's do practice 1. So we're going to do a counterclockwise. Looks like this is going to be, 90 degrees counterclockwise. So as a reminder, when we do a counterclockwise rotation, we reverse the X and Y, and then the Y value becomes the opposite. Okay, so A prime. So we're going to reverse the X and Y. And then what used to be the Y value, negative 3, that's going to become the opposite. Okay, B prime. We're going to reverse and make what used to be the Y value the opposite. And then C prime, reverse. These just happen to be the same thing. And then we make what used to be the Y value the opposite. Okay, let's go ahead and graph our original. We're going to plot the original and then the new one. Okay, so our original is forward 2, down 3 for A. And then for B is forward 2, up 1. And mark that B. And for C, we're going to go back to negative 2, negative 2. So that's here. And mark that C. Okay, there's our original figure. And then now we're going to rotate it 90 degrees counterclockwise. So it's going to end up back here. We already did our ordered pairs, so let's go ahead and plot it. We're going to go, A is +3 and +2. So right there is going to be A. And then we mark it A prime. Okay, B is -1, +2, and mark it B prime. And then C is +2, -2. Okay, so this looks a little weird because we have some overlapping going on. C prime. And let's go ahead and connect and see what it looks like. Okay. All right, so it turned. It definitely did turn. And see how our A was here and now it's up here. So that's how you do it. It looks a little strange, but that is how you do it. And then our congruency statement, ABC, is congruent to A prime, B prime, C prime. Same size, same shape, all the angle measures are equivalent. Ooh, what's that? Rotation, rotation. Okay, moving on to practice 2, we're going to do the 180. And I like doing the 180s because all you do is keep the X and Y the same way it is, and you make both of them the opposite. So E prime, we keep our X and Y, and we make them the opposite. So since these are both positive, we make them both negative. So F prime, we keep them the way they are, but then make them the opposite. And then G prime, keep them the way they are, but make them the opposite. Okay, so let's go ahead and plot the original and then our 180 and see what it looks like. So here we go. We're going to go E is 4, 4, so forward 4, up 4. Mark that with an E. And then F is 4, 2, so forward 4, up 2, and mark that with an F. And G is forward 1, up 3, and mark that with a G. And then go ahead and connect it. And there's our original triangle. So now we're going to rotate it 180 degrees. So that means it's going to go 2 quadrants, move 2 quadrants for a 180. And we already have our ordered pairs ready to go. So let's go -4, -4, which will be right here. And you're going to mark that E prime. And -4, -2, be right there. Mark that F prime. And then our last one is -1, -3. And that is G prime. Okay, and connect it neatly. And so we can see, yeah, it turned 180 degrees. So that looks like we did it right. Let's write our congruency statement. So see if you can fit that somewhere on your paper. I'm going to put mine right here. EFG, the original EFG, is congruent to the equal sign with the squiggle, E prime, F prime, and G prime. So far all of our translations have created congruent figures. And congruent means all of the side lengths and all of the angle measures that are inside, those are all equivalent or all the same. Okay, so hopefully you remember all of our transformations. We had the translation, which was a slide. We had the reflection, which was a turn. It either went over the x-axis or over the y-axis. And then today we did the rotation. So hopefully you remember transformations, 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 transformations.